So here at Life Leadership Lessons, we are prescribing truth as cure. So being truthful, living a truthful life, not thinking one thing and saying another, is a key issue. So what we're going to talk about right now is responsible truth sharing. So we have the 7 qualifying questions to responsible truth sharing. And the idea is that you can answer yes to each one of these 7 questions before sharing your truths. That you could answer yes to each one of these questions before sharing your truths. Let's lay out a story that we can apply these questions to. So for example, I'm doing a leadership training class. And we'll say that Bob comes late to my class. He makes all the other meetings on time, but he often comes to my training classes late. And let's say I'm upset about that. And so now let's apply these 7 questions to that story and how it might work. So let's go to the first question. Did I take time to get clear on my own truths? So what this is about is me getting clear, what is my truth? You know, sometimes we have just emotions, and it takes a while to get clear on what exactly is my truth. So this is me saying, I'm upset with Bob. Why am I upset with Bob? And just getting clear, even doing some role playing in my own mind about what do I want to say to Bob? How will I do that? And just getting very, very clear. So number 1, did I take time to get clear on my own truths? So we'll apply it again to the story. Number 2, am I sharing the right truths with the right person? So I have to ask myself, what is my truth, and what part of that am I going to share with Bob? Sometimes the story is this long, and what you should only be sharing with somebody is this. Another part of that story might be really none of their business, or it might be somebody else's business. It's not respectful, and it's just not responsible to share certain things. So what I say is sharing, sometimes we share truth with the wrong person, and that's often gossip. Gossip is destructive. It can tear a family down, a business down, a ministry down, and often gossip could be based on truths, but you're just telling the truth to the wrong person. So I got to ask myself, am I sharing the right truths with the right person? I wouldn't want to go share with Jim that I'm upset with Bob, that he's late for my meetings. I need to go directly to Bob. As often as we can, we should always be taking our truth directly to the person that it is connected to, and not sharing that with somebody else. Number 3, are my motives good? So this is a really important one. And this is me taking time to say, what are my motives to going to Bob and letting him know how upset I am that he was late for my meeting? And why my meetings? Because he always makes the other meetings. So what are my motives to that? We can go and share truth for all the wrong reasons. We can go share truth because we want revenge on somebody. We can go and share truth because we want to show everybody how smart we are. We can go share truth because we want to put somebody in their place. We want to share truth to embarrass somebody because they embarrassed us. You can share truth for a lot of wrong reasons. So what I want to ask myself is, am I sharing this truth for the right reason? And when I say that, I mean to help, to encourage, to train, to build somebody else up. And is the motive good? Number 4, am I prepared to speak my motives before I share my truths? Now, this is really, really important. So if I've concluded that, no, I'm not doing this to get back at Bob, I'm not doing this to embarrass Bob, I'm not doing this for any poor, wrong, evil motive. I'm doing it because I care about him, and I want him to be a part of the team. I want to help him. I want him to learn. How can he learn if he's not at the meeting? And let's say I work through all that, and I say, no, this is for the right reason. Now, am I willing and am I prepared that when I go to talk to Bob and share those truths, am I willing to say to Bob, Bob, I have some things I want to share. But before I share these truths that I have, before I share it, I want to tell you, I care about you. It's important to me you're on this team. I want you to make sure that you're growing and developing along with the rest of us. Am I willing to share those things that I got clear on in my own mind about the fact that these motives are good, I care about them? Am I willing to go say that before I share my truths? Before is key. It tremendously increases the probability that this communication is going to be successful and it's going to be productive. So 4, am I prepared to speak my motives before I share my truth? Number 5, am I in control of my emotions? Emotions often lie, and emotions often distort, and not always, but most of the time, if we are filled with emotions, it causes problems when speaking our truth. So it's a matter of being in control. It's okay to have emotions. It says, am I in control of my emotions? And there's nothing wrong with the 24-hour rule on that too. If you're very angry about something, you don't feel like you're in control of your emotions, take 24 hours and just cool down, and don't let those emotions cause a failure in that communication. Sometimes you get one chance at it. It's hard to fix. So number 5, am I in control of my emotions? And then number 6, is it a good place? And number 7, is it a good time? So that's just real practical stuff. If I'm going to go share with Bob this critical thing, and I really want him to hear me, I want him to hear my heart, I want him to hear what I'm saying, I don't do that when Bob's like getting ready to walk into a meeting himself. Or, or if you're a husband and wife, if you have a critical thing to share, you don't share that as your spouse is dozing off into a sleep. Or maybe they're already all stressed out about something else, and their stress is real high, and then you show up and you want to do this. You have to pick a good place and a good time. If you know you're going to have a truth session, and it's something the other person could get emotional, the other person might cry, don't pick the middle of Bob Evans to do it. So pick a good place and pick a good time. So if we can use these to change our habits and ask ourselves these 7 questions and say, I'm going to try to answer yes to all 7 of these before I do my truth sharing, what generally happens is there's a lot more success in it.